Just for context, I'm open to learning and being informed, but I do believe we have a disagreement when it comes to DEI. You think it stands for didn't earn it. Essentially, that colleges are dropping the bar, but I think they're just opening the door. Um, so, for example, a recent Harvard analysis by Top Economics found that students from the wealthiest 1% of families are 13 times more likely to score in the 1300 plus range for the SAT than students from the poorest families. And I don't think that's because rich kids are 13 times smarter, but it's because they have access to better schools, private tutors, test prep, everything, right? And according to the University of California, they show that family background accounts for 40% of the variance in SAT/ACT scores among UC applicants. I would also like to mention that the Diversity in Society's Leaders, the Casual Effects of Admissions at Highly Selective Private Colleges, a study shown by the National Bureau of Economic Research, that I think that if you think it's based on race, at times I think it's based on wealth. So legacy applicants, children of donors, and recruited athletes were significantly more likely to be admitted than other students with the same academic credentials. So yeah, elite schools like Harvard, legacy students are about 5 to 6 times more likely to be admitted than non-legacy students with similar SAT scores. Roughly 43% of white students admitted to Harvard from 2000 to 2015 fell into one of the 4 categories, right? Legacy athletes, dean's interest list, or children of faculty or staff. 3/4 of these ALDC admits, 75%, would not have been admitted if evaluated only on academic credentials. My question is, I guess, do you believe that DEI could possibly not stand for diversity, equity, and didn't earn it, but can stand for actual diversity, that diversity of abilities? When you go into a job or to a school, they don't just ask for your SAT score. They ask what kind of clubs you were into. They ask you to submit an essay. They are a holistic academic review. So why do you think it didn't earn it? If maybe they got a less SAT score, but them as a person are just more well-rounded than the person who had all these tutors but did nothing outside of it.
What yeah. Tell me about, do you know anything about the Students for Fair Admission case, the Supreme Court case at Harvard?
I would love to hear about it.
Yeah. So basically at Harvard, Asian and white students, they basically got 200 to 400 points knocked off of their score versus black and Hispanic students. So it was disenfranchising white and Asian students. So if you support DEI, let's say you're in charge. Do you think that we should have all test scores be weighed the same? Or do you think that certain ethnic groups should get certain points because of their race?
I believe that we should acknowledge the fact that certain students have a different starting point, and I would love to give everybody the opportunity to
So
get
how
into
many
school.
points should a black student get over a white student in admissions?
I think that SAT scores and points shouldn't be the only thing referenced.
But you have to answer the question because the status quo...
But it's not that black and white.
It is. So it is because that's why affirmative action was struck down by the Supreme Court.
But we're not talking about affirmative action. We're talking about DEI.
DEI is an outgrowth. Affirmative action is an outgrowth of DEI and vice versa. But let me give you another example of DEI. Do you think if I say to a group, let's say of Hispanic and black people, if I say you people, is that a microaggression?
Say that again. I'm so sorry.
If I was talking to a group of Hispanic or black people and I happen to say you people, is that a microaggression?
I would think so, yes.
Okay, I think that's insane.
Why?
Because it's not a microaggression or racism to call any group of people you people. That's DEI in practice. So you guys might know about the group of clowns in the circus group of the Dean on F America thing. They fell apart in 1 week because one black woman called Dean and Parker racist because they were associated with a woman who called a group of black women you people, and they said you did not recognize microaggression. That's DEI in practice, where you could lose your entire job and your career for one misstatement. And you just showed it to me. Like, you think that's a microaggression to say you people to a group of Hispanic and black people? We should not be policing the speech of people. Instead, we should be caring about one thing, and that's merit and merit only when we put together our institutions.
But if you base it on meritocracy, like I said, you're initially bringing in wealthy people who have these tutors but aren't
So what?
well-rounded.
That doesn't mean anything. Yes, the degree of how good your parents are matter. Yes. If you have good parents, you get something that people with bad parents don't get. That's
Okay,
applicable
but-
beyond college.
But with the people who score higher, let's say they didn't do anything, they are less likely to be able to take on challenges than the
Doesn't
people
matter.
who. Why wouldn't it matter?
Because
Wouldn't, as an
inherently,
employer,
you are penalizing those with good parents. The only way you can make this work.
You're not penalizing
Yes, you are.
them. No,
you are
you're not excluding them.
Not true. It is the only way we see this. In order to elevate equity, you must compromise excellence. And that's fine if that's your position, because there's only so many spots, there's only so many places, and if you have a lot of qualified people and you want to try to get not as qualified people, you have to prevent the qualified people and elevate the unqualified people. That's what the Students for Fair Admissions case showed us.
You're thinking that DEI is versus excellence. I think DEI is for excellence.
Got it.
If
Show
you
me
look-
one institution that got better the more it embraced DEI.
One institution that got better that embraced DEI.
That got smarter, more competitive, leaner, more productive, and that was better than it was 10 years ago. Are our airports more efficient? Are we landing planes better? Are our airlines better? Is our government better? Is our schools better? Is our universities better? Show me one example. Is our public health authorities better? Show me one institution that's embraced DEI that has become better, more excellent than it was 20 years ago. It doesn't exist. DEI will destroy an institution from within.
Let me ask you another question. When COVID happened, they removed the SAT scores, yet the graduation rates for Harvard were still the same. Do you think that because of, sorry. With that being said, since ACT wasn't even considered, schools are accepting people with the potential to succeed, because once you get in, you're still going off the same merit as everybody else.
A lot of people drop out that are, the problem with Harvard is that they now have professors, the ton of them that are saying they have to retake courses and remedial courses because these kids should never be here in the first place. And they happen to be a lot of black and Hispanic kids that were let in strictly because of the color of their skin. So I guess my question is, do you care about the racial makeup of a college?
The racial makeup of a college?
Like if a college was all white or all Asian, would that bother you?
I think it would stop them from being able to see different perspectives and thus improve their systems and improve the quality of their operations.
But why is diversity only skin color? Can't a bunch of white people also disagree?
Well, think of it this way: if I like my mom went to the hospital or something, and let's say her English is good, but her Spanish isn't. Oh, her Spanish is good, but the English not so much, right? It would help that if a person who is Hispanic or no Spanish would be the one helping her. She'd feel more comfortable with that person because she understands and relates.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you're in America. You should learn English. I don't know what to tell you, but
No, she is.
good. I mean, I'm not trying to be insensitive or cruel.
English, but
yeah,
she
look,
would rather be with a Hispanic nurse versus one
In-
that doesn't, so she could speak comfortably.
as an organization, you must prioritize something. We think that excellence should be we must have an uncompromising pursuit and commitment to excellence, and not equity. And we believe the more that we embrace this kind of culture of mediocrity, excellence will slip. And again, I could go through. At the core, DEI wants a lot of things, including racial quotas. We don't believe in racial quotas. Our best institutions would fall apart with racial quotas. We want excellence quotas and the best and the ones that earned it to be able to get in those positions. Thank you for your good faith conversation.